How to play fingerstyle or fingerpicking guitar, lesson 15. Christmas Carol 2, Away in a Manger. And this is the continuation of a short series within the course we're doing of Christmas carols. And last week we looked at Silent Night. With this week's lesson, we won't do any extra techniques or we won't do any exercises because we covered those last week in lesson 14. If you want to learn this tune and you didn't see lesson 14, it would be well worth you watching it. And because of this, I've put the link down below in the description. Also, this lesson, lesson 15, is part of a complete fingerpicking course that you can find on my channel. And you can also find a link to the playlist down below in the description. And of course you can find this course and many others completely free at www.ebooks4guitar.com, and there you can see the tablature online for free. So let's get down to it. How to play Away in a Manger with fingerstyle guitar. And like last week's Christmas Carol, Away in the Manger is in 3/4 time, which means there's 3 crotchet beats per bar. And because the tune's in 3/4 time then, every bar in the tune will be counted as 3 beats. So a 2-bar introduction would be 6 beats. Firstly then, to give you a good idea how it should sound, I'll play it through at 70 beats per minute with a 2-bar introduction. As with last week's tune, I really do stress that this is far better played without a metronome. But I'll be using a metronome all the way through this tutorial so you can follow along with what I'm doing, and you can also play along with me if you can and if you want to. But when you're getting more confident and you're well on the way to learning the tune, you want to lose the metronome so you can put more feelings into the tune by speeding it up and slowing it down and using louder and quieter sections. Right, let's take a quick look at the first bar. And you're probably thinking, hello, it's just an open note, why would I need to talk about it even? Well, it's the rhythm that we need to mention. And the first note of this tune is the last beat of the first bar. So, counting it in with a 2-bar introduction, we'd go 1, 2, 3, 2, 2, 3, 3, 2, boom, there's the first note. So it's actually on the 3rd beat of the bar you play the first note of the tune. To make sure you understand this and that you can come in on the right note, I'll now play this 3 times with the 2-bar introduction. Here it is the second time. And the last time. Right then, moving on from bar 1, you'll notice that through bar 2 and halfway through bar 3 you can maintain a C shape, or at least a partial C shape. And the only place this changes is where in bar 2 we add the fourth finger to the third fret of the B string to create a C-add 9. Here it is being played from the beginning to the second note of bar 3 at 70 beats per minute with a 2-bar introduction. Here that is again if you want to try playing along with it. You might find you need to go away and practice each section as you learn it, but this is quite normal, so don't worry about it. If you do need to do that, just pause the video and come back later and continue with the tutorial. Here's that first section being played again at 70 beats per minute. And here it is again, one last time. The end of bar 3 doesn't take any explanation really. It's a simple 2-note lead in to bar 4. We can add that on to what we've already learnt, so it sounds like this. Here that is again at 70 beats per minute with a 2-bar introduction. Try and play along with it if you can. Right, let's take a look at bar 4, which is a little more tricky to play, and we'll hear it first at 70 beats per minute. You'll notice that this bar starts on the first beat. This bar is a little more tricky, but it can be fingered in 2 ways. And here they are. You'll notice the first one is a bar chord. So if you're familiar and used to playing bars, you might find this the easiest way to play. However, if you're not used to playing bar chords, you'll find the second method easier to play, as there's no need to play a bar in this method. Let's see that being played then, both methods. I'll play the barred method first, and then the single fingered method secondly. Method 2. Let's hear that again, and if you can, try playing along. To play this as a musical phrase, it's best to play bar 4 with the first half of bar 5, so it sounds like this. The first half of bar 5 is very easy. You just need to put the first finger in the first fret of the top E string. So let's hear that played again at 70 beats per minute with a 2-bar introduction. Try and play along with it if you can. And here that is again with a 2-bar introduction. Right, let's bring everything we've learnt together. So we'll play down to the first half of bar 5. Here it is at 70 beats per minute with a 2-bar introduction. Here it is again with the 2-bar introduction. Try and play along if you can. Right, let's take a look at the end of bar 5, bar 6 and bar 7. And we've got a simple lead in from bar 5 to bar 6, where at the beginning of bar 6 we're just playing the first fret of the top E string with our first finger. Then we move over to a partial G shape, or if you prefer you can play the whole G shape, as long as you can change from that to the C shape, which is the next chord shape that's there. However, there's no need to play the complete C shape, and you only need to play at the beginning of the bar the 3rd fret of the A string with the 3rd finger, and then you introduce the 1st finger on the 1st fret of the B string at the end of the bar. Let's see that being played at 70 beats per minute with a 2-bar introduction. Hopefully you noticed with the 2-bar introduction there was actually an extra 2 beats because we came in from the last beat of the bar again. So let's hear that again, and this time try and play along with it if you can. Here it is at 70 beats per minute with a 2-bar introduction. And here that is again. Right, we'll move on to the next bar, but we'll also include the first note of bar 9. This is just so it makes more musical sense. And here's that being played at 70 beats per minute with a 2-bar introduction. This little section I think is quite difficult, so you might need to practice this small section a few times before you can bring it together with a tune. And the problems are twofold. It's getting between the awkward shapes, but also there's a reach between the 1st fret and the 4th fret that some people might find difficult. However, I have got a suggestion for a cheat for that. But let's just see it being done again. Take special note of what my fingers are doing. Breaking down this section then, you'll notice that the first shape isn't a difficult shape, but it's a slow shape to get, so it might take some practice to speed it up. The second shape is the big reach, and I find a lot of people end up with dead strings trying to reach from the 1st fret to the 4th fret. And if you find you have the problem where you find it difficult to reach the 4th fret, then you can just ignore it and just play the 1st fret on the B string, which is a C. When you actually play through the tune, these don't sound very different. So I'll play through that section now, firstly with the 4th fret being played, and the second time without it. Don't try and play along at this stage, just try to listen to the difference between the two methods, just so you can hear that it still sounds good without the 4th fret being played. In bar 9, you'll notice there's a 3 in brackets as well. And this note is completely optional, as it's not essential to the tune. However, here's how it sounds with the previous bar. Let's try playing that section at 70 beats per minute with a 2-bar introduction. But play bar 8, whatever method you chose to use. Here that is again with a 2-bar introduction. Right, let's try bringing that together from the end of bar 5 to the end of bar 9 at 70 beats per minute with a 2-bar introduction. And here that is again. Try and play along with it if you can. Right, let's try and play everything we've learnt. So here it is from the beginning at 70 beats per minute with a 2-bar introduction. And here it is again from the beginning. Try and play along with it if you can. You'll be pleased to know you've learnt the vast majority of this tune now, and that's because bars 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 and half of 15 are identical to the beginning, and that means you've already learnt how to play these bars. So in order to finish this tune off, you just need to learn the last 4 bars, and of those you only really need to learn 15, 16 and 17. You will have noticed that I'm finishing the tune on a single bar or a 3 count, whereas in the tab it's shown to be a 6 count or 2 bars. And this depends on how many verses you want to play. If you want to play another verse, you finish on a 3 count and go back to the beginning. However, if you want to end the tune, you finish on a 6 count. So how long you hold that last note is entirely up to you. Here's the last 4 bars being played at 70 beats per minute with a 2-bar introduction. And here that is again. Try and play along with it if you can. Right, let's try to bring together the end of the song from the last note in bar 9. Here it is at 70 beats per minute with a 2-bar introduction. Right, let's try that bit again at the same speed with a 2-bar introduction. Try and play along with it if you can. And that's the entire tune. So now let's try and bring it all together and play it from start to finish at 70 beats per minute with a 2-bar introduction. Let's try that one last time and see if you can play along with it at 70 beats per minute. As I mentioned at the beginning of this lesson, whilst it's useful to learn the tune with a metronome, when you do the final practice, you want to lose the metronome and practice it in a more freestyle fashion. And this way you can put more feeling into your playing. And your final performance will sound a lot better if you do it without a metronome. But for learning the tune, the metronome helps you develop a flow. Here's how the tune sounds without a metronome, and I'll play it on a nylon string guitar because it's got a slightly warmer tone. I hope you enjoyed this lesson, and if you did, please like and subscribe and hit the bell icon. and then you'll be notified when I upload new lessons. And if you want to see some more courses, you can find them at www.ebooksforguitar.com, and they're all there for free to view online. I'll finish this video with a few minutes of the metronome beats at 70 beats per minute, so you can practice along with them if you want to. Thank you very much for watching.